Building a niche subscription service requires a highly specific kind of unseen labor. I spent 4 years quietly refining my operational model, developing the brand language, and testing the exact service tiers that would make the business viable. So when a woman I'll call Imogen arrived at an industry workshop, I had no reason to be suspicious. She presented herself as an engaged professional exploring a major career change. She asked highly surgical questions. She wanted details on pricing models. She asked about my specific suppliers, and she dug into the exact client acquisition strategies I was using to build my base. In hindsight, her questions provided a tactical blueprint for corporate reconnaissance. It exposes a terrifying vulnerability in service-based models. Without a physical product to lock behind a door, years of quiet intellectual labor can easily be absorbed by a single attentive observer. 6 months later, a mutual contact sent me a link to a new website. Look at these two business structures. On the left is my 4-year model. On the right is the new business. The name at the top was different, but the entire operational structure beneath it was cloned. Identical service tiers, a matching pricing model. The theft went all the way down to the copy. Specific brand language and marketing sentences I had coined were sitting verbatim right there on her public website. An imitator walked off with a complete 4-year business model in a fraction of the time. I didn't panic. That afternoon, I made a single phone call to my solicitor. During my first year in business, I had established an invisible legal architecture to protect my work. This perimeter network represents how trademark law operates. It secures the central business name, creating a hard boundary around specific marketing phrases. Imogen made a fatal error. By rushing her launch, she used 2 specific proprietary phrases verbatim on her website. Within the week, my solicitor issued a rapid camera strike, a formal cease and desist letter detailing the specific infringements and the legal remedies we demanded. Imogen hired her own solicitor, who fired back with a remarkably weak defense. They argued my copied sentences were simply generic industry terminology. We responded with a single piece of evidence: this official trademark registration certificate, firmly stamped with a filing date 2 years before Imogen ever set foot in my workshop. Opportunistic arguments about what constitutes generic language fell apart immediately when they are confronted with premeditated historical legal documentation. The result was devastatingly fast. The stolen phrases vanished completely from her website within 72 hours. The broader structural copying of the business model was a more complex legal fight, but the paper trail was clear enough that we settled the matter without ever going to tribunal. The terms of that settlement were severe. Imogen made a financial payment and signed a legally binding agreement to never operate within my specific niche again. Stripped of its stolen architecture and legally boxed out of the market, her cloned business closed completely within 4 months. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about aggressively dismantling her business. I don't. She attended a workshop under false pretenses and weaponized that access to steal 4 years of my work. The legal system is built exactly for this type of disguised theft. My survival rested on the legal steps I took years before the first threat appeared. You cannot construct a shield once the arrows are already in the air. You must protect the work before you need to. Has someone ever walked off with your process or your brand? Tell me how you handled it in the comments below. And subscribe, because true originality always has receipts.